Welcome to Booty and Baribeau. I'm Rachel Baribeau. He is Josh Booty, and we are on set together.
I love it. This is the first time we've been able to do this, and to be in Atlanta and to be here for the big game in Athens this week is going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad we're hanging.
Yeah, we're hanging. We're going to go out tonight, see the sights and the sounds in Atlanta, head up to Athens in the next day or so. All right, Josh. I'm back and forth on this Alabama-Georgia game. I picked Georgia earlier in the week for Gridiron Now, but I covered Alabama for 3 years. And what I know about Alabama is when you count them out, when their back's against the wall, that's when they show up. And if Alabama loses this game, to them, their fans, and to that team, their goals of a national championship, SEC championship, are pretty much gone. It makes me wonder whether I picked the right team.
Yeah, thinking about it and being in town, everybody's gung-ho about Georgia and what they're doing here in the state. But, Saban, the worst thing for Georgia was for Alabama to lose against Ole Miss at home. I think it woke them up. It could quite possibly have woke up a sleeping giant, because I think Bama's the strongest team in our league, in the conference, in the SEC. But, at the same time, Georgia looks like a great football team. They're a well-oiled machine. They can throw, they can run. They've got some great pass rushers, so it's going to be fun to see. But you're right. I early in the week I liked Georgia too, and now it's like, do you really think Alabama's going to be out of contention for anything this early in the season?
If you had to go to Vegas and put your money on it, like this whole FanDuel, whatever, all these websites.
Come up with FanDuel,
Who came up with these things, by the way? First of all, who came up with them? And they're crazy hot right now, like this year.
Whoever did is making a ton of money. It's like Uber. Why didn't I come up with Uber? But I Ubered over here tonight to do the show, but FanDuel is an awesome program. But yeah, it's just there's so many things that are going to happen in this game that with Bama and Georgia that are going to define really the season in the SEC. And if Bama comes in there and really gets after them, then we're going to know that the East is still not as good as the West. And we might see that. We also might see a Georgia team that's so well balanced that they get Alabama on their heels and give them a run for their money.
This feels like the most balanced Georgia team that I've seen in a really long time. Be it the offensive line, do they call themselves the misfits? Grayson Lambert near perfect, like 45 of 50 the past 2 weeks. We talked about that earlier in the week. This defense under Jeremy Pruitt, it feels like if it's the time for Mark Richt to do it, does it feel like that to you?
It does. The one thing that I think separates a great team from a good team at this point in the season, early in the season, is they haven't really played quality opponents. Georgia, they beat Vanderbilt, they beat South Carolina, and they won a game against Southern and another non-conference team, and so they really haven't been battle tested. The fans are going to be excited that they got their home field advantage and everything, but they really haven't played a big-time opponent yet. So LSU's a lot like that. They played a bad Auburn team. They've played 3 non-conference games, so we really don't know how good LSU is. But I think they're kind of mirror images right now, Georgia and LSU, because they're not battle-tested, but they will be after Saturday.
You mentioned LSU, and earlier in the week, I want to apologize to the people that watch this podcast. I don't think I felt like I did, and maybe you feel like this or don't. I don't think I gave Mississippi State their due. I was talking about Auburn and what happened there, and I didn't give Dak Prescott, that defense of Mississippi State. Surely, Auburn has its struggles. But I think, and having conversations with people this week, and wrote a great piece on Dak Prescott, visiting with him last fall, Josh, I think Mississippi State's just kind of flying under the radar in the West. Nobody's talking about them. Yeah. They took LSU to the hilt. They did. They didn't beat Auburn handily, but that's always kind of a slobber knocker game.
And they lost so many players last year, so they played LSU early and got beat barely, like you said. And for them to play that strong, that early, with a lot of guys that hadn't had a lot of playing time. So you take that team, let them mature week in, week out throughout the season. I think they're going to be a team that is really good and rivals everybody. All these games are super important.
It's funny you should say that, because when I did the piece with Dak, I talked to his uncle, and Philip Ebarb, and he said to me, and one of the things Dak said, hey, I came back for this year. And people said, why'd you come back? You lost all these people around you. Why would you do that? And he said, I came back because we have more talent on this team. Now we're younger and more raw, but we have more talent. But we're going to it's not maybe not going to be apparent from the beginning, like you said, but we're just going to keep getting better and keep getting stronger. And so I think looks like that's what's happening in the state.
That is, and Dak Prescott's such a great leader, and we've talked about it before in previous conversations. He's such a great leader and a great person. He makes everybody around him so much better, and it's kind of a la Tim Tebow at Florida. He's not I don't think Dak Prescott's going to be an unbelievable passer at the next level. That's just what I think.
But isn't that
Tebow wasn't either, but that's the offense that they run. He's perfected what he does, and now he's passing the ball better than he did last year. He's a better player all around. He's a better player, and it's fun to watch Dak because they got a chance.
Josh, isn't that though a thing? I mean, obviously they all want to go to the NFL, and every quarterback wants to go to the NFL. Every player wants to go to the NFL and have success. But there's been a ton of SEC quarterbacks that have been really good at the collegiate level and not so good at the NFL level. Yeah,
they're a lot of these guys are game managers, and the way that the coaches really open up their offense or do not open up their offense. I know in the Pac-12 it seems like, and I live on the West Coast, it seems like it's wide open. They're not afraid to throw the ball every down if they have to, but they can't line up and beat you one-on-one in the trenches, and that's what the SEC is all about. It's like we're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster.
And knock you off the line.
We're going to knock your butt off the line. So it's just a different way of playing things. I think Ohio State has adopted the SEC style of football because Urban Meyer saw what he had to do when he was at Florida, and he won and was successful, and he just took that formula up to Columbus. And so I think that's the difference is those people on the West Coast, there's some great quarterbacks. I think they're better at the next level. There's no question they're further ahead in the way that they can read coverages and have gone through I guess their progressions through the years and the way that they're coached at that out west. But in the Southeastern Conference, it's about handing the rock off and trying to do some damage. And teams like Georgia and Alabama and LSU, those are the teams that do it the best.
Well, I tell you, another team that's doing it really well is Texas A&M. Obviously going to overtime with Arkansas.
Now Sumlin's a little different. He throws football. He's like the West Coast guy, but now they got.
And then they got Chavis, the chief, on the other side. So who do you like in that Texas A&M Mississippi State game? Because that's kind of a clash of styles too.
I think it's going to be a great ball game. I would go with Texas A&M because I think they're showing super signs of improvement on defense, and I think they're just a stronger all-around team. I think Mississippi State lost a little bit too much last year, but as you said, they're getting better and better. But I like A&M in the ball game, just because Kyle Allen is doing such a good job. But it could be a field goal game. Who knows?
So Arkansas, Tennessee.
This is going to be a fun one. This is a game where both these teams were billed as better teams to come in the season. They found ways to lose ball games. So one of them's got to win this one.
I'm hiding my face for the coaches. They're both of them, Josh. They're both not experiencing great times right now.
No, they're both having long weeks. As a head football coach, if you don't succeed week in, week out, and don't show the fans and your program something positive, then things can begin to slide. Both these guys are at a place where they need wins and bad. I'm
interested to see who's going to come out of that. You look at Butch Jones and kind of some of the coaching decisions he made in that Florida game. And you could say the same thing with Brett Bielema, some of the coaching decisions he made, starting back in that Toledo game when he threw the ball an inordinate amount of times. That's not your game plan.
No, it hadn't been since he showed up, and he got on. I guess Kingsbury, they had this huge conversation.
I loved it. Don't you love that, like that realness in college football?
I do. They can be themselves and go, it's almost like high school. It's like, what? We've been around each other. We've heard you speak at conferences. You've spoke at conventions here and there, and he called him out. He said, hey, if you don't use a tight end and receivers, so it was fun to watch because Bielema doesn't believe in the spread attack, but yet he's throwing 50 times a game. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. So like, get an identity, brother, and that's what he suffered because they don't have an identity right now. They have good players. They've got a great running game. The quarterback's done a fabulous job. His numbers, I think he's leading the league in passing yardage. So they're doing some great things on offense, but they don't have an identity, and that's hurting them when it comes to winning football games.
All right, Josh, as we round out this podcast, this preview podcast of the weekend, you're going to Athens on Saturday. And you're heading up there with a bunch of folks. what are you most excited about going to Athens? Because
Well-
we talk about food, we talk about culture and tailgating and all of that. What are you most excited about? I know there's people that are going to be watching this going, come to my tailgate! Come to my tailgate!
I enjoy the pregame festivities just like you do.
I'm
It's
sure
so
he
much
is.
fun. It is. College football is the best when it comes to pregame and then the tailgates and the parties, and it'll be an awesome time. But I'm really the weather is going to play a big part in everything. Whether you're tailgating or whether the kids are out there playing the football game. I think if it's raining and it's drizzling the entire time, I think that edges Alabama a little bit.
Why?
I think because they've got Henry and Drake. They've got a two-headed monster there, and they pound the football. I think Georgia's more of a little bit more of a balanced team, but pro-style team, and I don't think I just don't see them lining up, in the rain and pounding Alabama. I just don't see it. No.
Not with their running backs and their running backs?
I think they got great players, but I think they like to play in space. And Chubb is a great back, but I just think Alabama's bigger and more physical up front, and I think that will help them if it's raining. If it's a nice, beautiful day and it doesn't rain, then I think Georgia's going to have a better chance.
A lot of things have to go right for Georgia. The last time they put Alabama as a blackout, and it didn't really go their way.
But Athens will be fun.
Athens is going to be great.
If they rock Bama, Athens is going to be wonderful.
My. and I love it. I love college football for a lot of reasons, but particularly in the SEC, this game is because you could say 10 reasons why Alabama could win and 10 reasons why Georgia could win. I mean, it's going to be one heck of a ball game.
It really will. It's the feature game of the week in our conference, and we actually pinpointed this game before the season ever started. We knew it was going to be good, and
that's why we're here.
Yeah, and the fact that Alabama lost before this is happening is crazy. But I think their back's against the wall. Saban's ticked off. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
He's Josh Booty. I'm Rachel Baribeau.